The power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
It is another Thursday night, which means DB94. Good evening, everybody. You are listening to us on sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. You could be watching us also on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or any of those things. In the meantime, we are sans Colleen, but we have added a Gene. We got to keep the Een thing going. So Gene Turnbow, station manager, is joining us tonight in place of Colleen, who is visiting family in Arizona. So there you go. Thanks for being here, Gene. We appreciate your company.
Oh, sure. I mean, this is kind of a first for me. I don't think I've ever been on your show before.
Oh, cool. Well, certainly not since we've gone to video.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
I think we had had you on once with audio wise, like a phone or something, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would have been years and years.
Yeah, it would
ago.
have been a long time ago. Certainly when we were Krypton and not sci-fi. But oh my gosh. Well, and to everybody, happy Star Wars Day. This is what they call Orthodox Star Wars Day. This was the day in 1977 that Star Wars premiered. It was a Wednesday. A few years later, 1983, Return of the Jedi, released on the same day. We got all sorts of cool Star Wars stuff going on. So
Orthodox Star Wars Day. It makes it sound like we should be wearing like Death Star yarmulkes or something.
And what's really funny is that I went and found them. They're like on Etsy.
Really?
Stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Which is really great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Man. Hey there, Dawn. Hey there, Elizabeth, Hugh, and Alan. And that's about all you see so far.
Oh, right on. I have the chat fired up, but I'm not seeing anything. So, Hey, there we go. Lori just popped up. Woo!
Okay, Lori's on there now.
And Laura.
There we go. I see her. Oh, hey.
Okay, great. Chat's working. Everything's cool.
Nobody's on Facebook.
And
nobody's on YouTube.
Well,
Oh, and Laura's on too.
YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, usually Alan's on there. Kind of weird.
Yeah, well, he'll get around to it.
He'll switch it up, man. He's on Facebook now.
It will be fine. It'll be great.
Pat. And Helen Thorne. Boy, everyone's
Pat, man, I have not seen Pat in far too long. Pat is amazing. And I have conscripted your swear word, Pat. So Pat worked in the newsroom with us, with Chaz and Colleen and all that. We were doing the newsletters for LostCon and other conventions, World Cons, and wherever they want us to go. And something would go horribly wrong, and Pat would yell, "Fudge bunnies!" And I'm trying to say that more instead of things that I'm not allowed to say on the radio.
Oh, yeah. I usually use Yosemite Sam words.
Sassa, frassa, frickin', frackin', reckin', frickin'. Yeah. You got to be careful with those, though, because you can slide easily into actual swear words.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. Gene, Laura says that you look blue. You actually have a 3D look. I feel like I should have 3D glasses on.
Yeah, I look like anaglyph glasses.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a half red, half blue.
I look blue because my lighting situation. My wife is Susan Fox, and she's the vice president of LostFest, and she runs.
I'm so sorry.
Every week, and it's at the same time as this, so I can't be in my own office.
Right.
So yeah.
Now at the at the early in the early days of Krypton Radio, when this station was just getting going, and of course we're Sci-Fi Radio now. It used to be called Krypton Radio. Didn't you guys used to broadcast before the LostFest meeting?
Yeah, we did.
Or did you record before the LostFest meeting?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a I think originally our show, The Event Horizon, was on Thursday nights.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it conflicted. So yeah.
Because I think the first time I ever heard of Krypton Radio, I was at Losfest, and I tried to go in to talk to somebody, and like, oh, you can't go in. They're doing a radio show. I'm like, really? But, you know, that would have been like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Long ago and far away.
Hello, David.
David, Linda just popped up. Hi, Linda.
Yep.
Linda, we know through the El Cajon Car Club. Star Car Night is coming up. It's always on Wednesday, and Star Car Night is coming up. And so we got to get ready to go. Yeah, she reminds us it's 2 weeks. We got to call Charger Steve, make sure that we're on that list to go down and display our cars.
Oh, yeah.
He usually holds a slot for us, but, you know, it's good to reserve it. Sorry. I'm still having my asthma attack, in case you wanted to know. So if I cough on you, I apologize. And if I run out of air while I'm talking, I totally apologize.
So how do I change my screen name? I don't know how to do that.
That's a good question. Usually, if you go up to view.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
Did you find it? Okay, great. Because yeah, usually you do it before you enter the meeting, but we can't see your screen name, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I have a little name tape that I made for you that's got your picture, your profile picture down there.
Cool.
And your name, but we can't actually see your profile name. So there. Okay. We try to be very professional. I know that we fail all the time. We try to be very professional.
This whole Zoom thing is we've been using Skype forever on the Event Horizon, and I'm slowly coming to the realization that we need to stop using Skype because nobody knows how to use it anymore.
Right. And
it's antique.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to Discord and using Discord for that kind of thing too. I just find that Zoom has been super handy to do it, and I have figured out how to bend it to my will. So what you guys are seeing as viewers of the show, you're seeing me live in studio with a camera. Here's my camera, and you're seeing Jeff in Orange County, and you're seeing Gene in the San Fernando Valley. And they are both in the same Zoom screen that I have crunched down into our display. And so it's like, it's me with, like, you know, my techno hammer trying to make it bend to my will. And I think I've kind of got it. I've pretty much got it figured out. So it's cool. Do we have Kit tonight? Or is she working?
You know, I don't know.
I don't know either. The blurb for the show is like, Kit might be posting, or she might be working, or she might be doing both. I don't know.
Yeah, she's wasn't that our FB chat earlier, but I don't know if she's going to be on here.
Sorry.
And that's probably the answer right now. Yep.
All right. Excellent.
Apparently we have Kit because she says so.
Kit. All right. Sweet. I will keep an eye out for her in the chat. So, you know, we started with May the 1st as 501st Day because 5/01 was the date, and so that became the 501st Day. Then we had May the 4th. Then we had not May the 5th. Thank you very much. We had Cinco de Mayo. Then we had May the Revenge of the Sith, which was Revenge of the 6th. And Empire Day was on the 20th because of the release of The Empire Strikes Back. And May has now just become this is the May because of The Mandalorian. So it's all Star Wars now for all of May.
Yeah.
And which I'm not sure how I feel about. You know, celebrating one Star Wars thing is cool. And as a super hardcore Star Wars fan, I'm like, is it too much? Are we going to burn everyone out?
I mean, it could be, you know.
Right. I feel like we are. I guess I should get rid of my hat because I'm sitting here in the dark.
I think it just raises awareness. I think it's an excellent
It's
cause.
Star Wars awareness. As if Star Wars needs awareness.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off Discord here.
Oh, you're on Smuggler's Run, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. Oh yeah, my background.
Yeah.
It was if I'm going to be on Docking Bay 94, I should at least dress the part.
Nice. Well. So Jeff's in the cockpit. You're in the lounge.
Right.
Where am
Same
I?
ship.
I'm obviously in the cargo hold with all this crap behind me.
To fix the lighting out here.
Oh, that stuff. Yeah, I know.
Pretty funny.
Get Chewy on it right away.
That's right. If everything starts to flash and get weird, run to your right, Gene. There's a giant red button on the wall. Push that.
Oh, that. Okay.
Have you guys had that happen when you've been inside Smuggler's Run and like the power drops and the alarms go off? There really is a button in the corner that you have to push. And so the cast members start yelling unless you know what it is. So I always, since I know about it, I always sit there. I try to wait for someone else to do it. Then if no one else does it, I sprint over and I slam the button. And everything restores, back to normal operating parameters. It's very fun. It is a very kind of weird red alert.
Been on it enough. I mean, I'm looking over here and I'm seeing the button, but I've never actually had anything go off while I was in there.
Well,
I've only been on it twice, so
you don't want to push a big red button that you don't know what it does.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Like Alan Tudyk has a big red button
Staples.
that he gave to Joss Whedon, and it's the recall button. And so if he ever wants to
see.
restart Firefly, he needs to smack the big red button.
Oh, okay.
Of course, everybody's gotten all famous and stuff in the interim, including Alan Tudyk. It's like,
Oh, hey, Eric.
We had him on the Event Horizon about I guess 4 years ago now.
is he not the nicest man?
He is. I
He's
don't
amazing.
think we'd be lucky enough to get him on again, given him.
Not now, right? No. It's like now that he's doing Star Wars stuff, it's like now we want you on the show, and he's like, eh.
We still have his Skype address.
Nice. Well, we cornered him at the Rogue One premiere at the after party, and he was nothing but cool. And I had the opener of I was in Con Man, which how's he going to turn down anybody who was in Con Man with him? So, but
that's what we interviewed him about.
What a nice guy, a super nice.
It helped that he seemed to have already had a few drinks. So
and that helped everybody at that event. Who do we run into
during the last writer strike, Con Man? Back when everybody was doing their own.
It may have been. That's how we got. It's how we got the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. That was during the writer's strike, I think.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the people that were in that went on to big stuff.
Yeah, well, if they weren't already, totally. I mean, Nathan.
They were already on their trajectory, obviously, but
Nathan Fillion was doing fine. Neil Patrick Harris was doing fine, and the redhead whose name I can never remember. I don't know why I have the worst time with her name. And she's
from the Guild.
She's sweet, from the Guild.
Yeah.
I was in one of the seasons of the Guild as an extra. She's really amazing. I cannot remember her name.
Then she went on to the Mystery
Felicia
Science
Day.
Theater.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Felicia Day.
Yeah, she went on to do what?
Felicia Day. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been a guest in everything.
Yeah, she became the latest of the Dr. Forresters to
That's
torture
right.
the latest entry.
They they consigned her to the satellite of love.
Yeah,
you were responsible for that now. That's pretty funny.
So where's Colleen today?
So Colleen has taken a trip out to see her mom for her birthday. For her mom's birthday, although it was just recently Colleen's birthday. Her mom lives with family in Arizona. And so Colleen, since she can now work from anywhere on the planet, has taken her laptop and she's working from Arizona, from Phoenix.
Oh, boy.
And so I'm here stag for about a week, although I'm going to have a house guest one of our Road Squadron members, Star,
Oh,
is
yeah,
coming
yeah.
down, and she's going to do a bunch of stuff down here. We just got conscripted into a parade on Monday morning, out in the valley, in fact, in Canoga Park.
Boy.
And so Road Squadron
Way out there.
is going to do it.
Where's the parade?
What's that?
Where's the parade?
It's in Canoga Park, and I have like an actual address. Is it on Parthenia? I don't know. I got to check.
Parade part of all places. There?
Well, I don't know. It's a Memorial Day parade, and I'm looking to see if I got. Here it is. Here's the parade email. The route goes down.
Yeah.
The street is not. Oh, it apparently goes
Weekday.
down Sherman Way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Oh boy.
and it
Don, I know what you're trying to say, Don. It just came out as weekday, but I got it. Yeah, yeah. Wicket.
Wicket.
Yeah, yeah. They later said who the name was, and then he was called that in the two movies and the cartoon series.
Right.
2 movie movies.
So this is apparently the 31st annual Memorial Day parade put on by the Canoga Park and West Hills Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, we need more people. And so here we go. Road Squadron stepped up. It looks like Sean with his Star Speeder from Star Tours, Star with her Firefly truck, me with the G-Wing, and maybe Ron with his TIE Fighter Corvette. So,
Nice.
and Jeff, if you want to add in, but it's kind of a trek for you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little dissonant.
You're always welcome, but it's your decision.
Okay.
Let's see
Me
here.
work on the car.
Yeah, I've been doing a little work
Good.
on the car too, which has been good. We've I did my steering wheel finally. My steering wheel
Yeah.
looks like a flight yoke finally, and I have some lights to install. I'll be doing a bunch of stuff while Colleen's gone. I have a bunch of plans for when Colleen's gone. We'll see if I accomplish them
Okay.
or not. I tend, and I love my wife dearly, but I tend to watch a lot more television. But when Colleen's here, because she has a hard work day, and then at the end of the day
Oh.
we veg out. So like we have just finished watching all 8 seasons of Barney Miller,
Oh.
and
Okay.
that's been going on for some time and stuff. So I watch a lot more TV with Colleen because she sits down to watch TV, and then I can't work with the TV on in the background. I have to watch it.
No.
I have a problem, obviously. So,
I can do what Colleen does, usually if I fiddle around. If I have motivation to do something, and then the TV is just music in the background.
right,
going.
but it has to be something I've seen. If it's something I know really well, like I put on Star Wars or Back to the Future, or some kind of movie that I know really well that I can play in my head, then I can do that. If
Yeah.
it's something I haven't seen in 40 years, like Barney Miller, I gotta watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like comfort food. I
Yeah,
do the same thing.
It is, but it's
Put on-
a time suck too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I frequently put on a movie that I'm really fond of when I'm writing,
Oh, okay.
and then it's stupid. And I just keep the sound down, but it's just
Yeah.
like I don't know, like having a companion in the office while I write,
Sure.
just so that so that I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm sitting by myself.
I used to do that with old time
Gotcha.
radio dramas, which were great, and so
Yeah.
I would listen to those. I used to tape the ones that they played locally on the air at 2 a.m. I'd tape them and replay them in the morning. And my tape deck would automatically tape at a certain time, so I just set an alert for it to tape every night at 2 a.m. and change the tapes, which was really cool.
Hey there, Chris. We have another viewer.
Chris Marble is in Pomona.
Yes.
Hi, Chris Marble. Chris Marble, who does amazing ice cream.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah, I helped. Hi, Chris. Yeah, I helped with the the nitrogen. last time.
Nitrogen ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
At the Ice Cream Social, which is always super cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Boba-Kit says 10,000. We could almost buy our own ship for that, which reminds me that
Where'd the 10,000 come from?
the Muppet car, Fozzie's
Yeah.
Muppet car fundraiser
Oh, yeah, we're
is
getting up there.
still going.
Yeah.
We are, and I will refresh the page here. We are stalled out at about $4,500
yeah.
and 62 donations.
Yeah.
Today is Frank Oz's birthday. Fozzie
Yeah.
himself was born on this day before Star Wars was. And anyway, we've had a lot of really amazing people donate so far. We're still trying to figure out how to get the word out. So if you guys have anything really creative that we can do, because I can't just rely on the 4,500 people I have on Facebook to give me all their monny. So
Yeah, no, what the heck?
although if they each gave me $2, we'd be done.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the whole sci-fi radio Patreon issue. You know,
Right.
We're barely making it. If every listener of sci-fi, even if just Docking Bay 94, if every listener of Docking Bay 94 pitched in 50 cents,
Yeah.
our money troubles would be over.
Wow.
Because this show is very, we actually have a ratings report engine.
Oh.
And this show is one of our top rated shows.
Nice.
And yeah, get thousands of views a month.
Wow.
I'm always amused by who actually tunes in. We usually get like Germany and
Yeah.
the United States and Canada and Russia and Estonia and Australia. India is tuned in right now.
Aren't they really?
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Noida, India.
Cool.
I think the Noid is from there. You remember the Noid from
Oh yeah,
Domino's?
Pizza.
probably a third of our. Excuse me a minute. I gotta yell at my dog.
Okay. A third of Gene's time is taken up with yelling at his dog.
Yeah, he's passers-by. I mean, I'm in the living room right now, because Susan is running the Lostfest meeting from our office. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
do this, and the dog will get in the window because he's a small dog, and he will mewl and bark at whoever passes by because he thinks they're a threat and ruin whatever recordings I've got going.
Yeah.
So, speaking of dogs, you got a new dog, Jeff.
Yes, I did.
Whose dog is that?
Whose dog? It's. Oh, look at the pupper. Gene. So, I guess it's the house dog.
Okay.
Oh, it's like, and right now I think she's in the computer room with Abria.
All right.
But yeah, she's a cute little thing.
Well, and I'm scrolling through your Facebook here because I thought you posted pictures. Maybe Aubrey.
I posted like one
here's,
on my page.
Here's one. I have
Yeah.
found it. It is suitably adorable, and I will show you guys
Yeah.
because it's super cute.
She's very small, tiny.
Absolutely tiny,
Yeah.
but cute, definitely. And her name is Ahsoka.
Yeah. That's Ahsoka. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She has a lot of the same attitude as young Ahsoka from Clone Wars, so
Is she calling you Sky Guy yet?
Yeah, well, give it time.
you know how Rosario Dawson waters her garden, don't you?
Oh no.
She uses an Ahsoka hose.
You know what I have the ability to do? Turn off Gene's microphone.
On Docking Bay 94.
And thanks for being on, Gene.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
yeah.
I gotta say, and I haven't seen her since then, but I would like very much to. There was a post that she made on Instagram or something like that, where Rosario Dawson had passed my car on the freeway and taken video of it and posted it.
That's awesome.
Which was really great.
Cool.
And I would love to like meet her now and go, that was me in the car. Why didn't you stop me and say hello?
Yeah.
Although, of course, I could have been singing
golly.
at the top of my lungs or something. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn, I would probably call Ahsoka Snips because she does try to nip at you. So,
Oh, that's, yeah.
if she's a little biter,
I guess that,
chew in biter.
Let's see here.
And the other two dogs are getting used to her. So and we've already been introduced to Lupin, and the Winifred is kind of met her a little bit. So slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the growing pains with a puppy are tough, but as long as you get her trained and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well.
The way I see it, it's just another dog in your house that's going to bark at me eventually.
That word. Yeah.
Jeff's dogs
we're
don't
going to
like
try to
me.
keep that, that part down.
Excuse me.
So shouldn't pick up bad habits from the other two.
So, Colleen and I went to
Disneyland
Disneyland this weekend. Big surprise, right?
Yeah.
And we went there just to hang out. So we sat down, we had a little lunch. Colleen was knitting a Life Day scarf. And we decided to get up and walk around. And we're like, well, let's walk through the marketplace. And because, we don't have anything we're really going to do. We're not trying to get on a ride or anything. Let's just walk through the marketplace, stretch our legs. So we get up, we start walking through the marketplace, and we run into our old roommate, Andrew, and his wife, Jennifer. We were both in their wedding party many years ago, like 25 years ago. And we haven't seen them in a while because they moved to Washington State.
Wow.
And Andrew is my old D&D buddy. We used to live on Satakoy Street in the Valley, and we would go down to the Denny's down the street from ILM on Valjean by the airport, and they had a lounge in the back. They had like a bar, and we would go back there and we would play Dungeons and Dragons. If you've ever heard me tell the story about the tip meter, that's what it was. It was at that place where we sort of trained the staff to expect us, and we would be there from like 6 to midnight or 6 to 2 in the morning, or because Denny's never closes. And that's where we would play RPGs. We'd take over a booth and do that. So we hadn't seen them in a while. They were there with some other friends, and they're like, let's go hang out. So we're walking around and we're doing stuff and we're kind of catching up. And I run off with Andrew to go to their locker in DCA to come back to Disneyland. And we meet everybody up in New Orleans Square by Pirates of the Caribbean. And I follow Andrew over to the entrance of Club 33, which is the secret club in Disneyland.
Second story, yeah.
Yeah, and so we're standing by the door and making jokes and talking, and one of their friends goes inside and then comes out and says, I know you guys are dressed in Star Wars bounding clothes, but I think it should be okay. Let's go. And we all walk into Club 33, where I haven't been since 1986. Colleen has never been. And I haven't seen it, neither of us have seen it since they rebuilt it. So they added a whole big section to it and got rid of the really old stuff that was built in the 60s and sort of spruced everything up. And so we go in and we sit in what is called the lounge. And the lounge is like it's the bar. It's like if Disneyland has a pub, this is it. except you have to have stupid amounts of money to be to be a member of the pub. So we had dinner, and it was amazing. Totally unexpected. They're of course celebrating the 100th anniversary of Disney as a company too. So they had lots of fancy menu offerings and things like that. It was just phenomenal, and I gotta say, super unexpected to be able to get to do.
Boy, I'll say.
And they're like, well, we're really sorry.
That's actually something on my bucket list too.
Well, and I think it's on most people's bucket lists, and I don't know how well I can show you these things because I haven't taken them off my phone, which I should have. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where's the Sean screen? There we go.
I worked there and couldn't get in, so
that's the bar, which is just absolutely incredible. And the bar lighting changes from blue to purple, and there's all sorts of magic stuff going on in there. Tony Baxter came in while we were there. He's a longtime ride designer for Disney. And oh my gosh, it was the weirdest thing. And so I usually am the guy who hijacks people to do interesting stuff. I hijack them into, Weird Al concerts, or I do whatever. And it was really interesting to be hijacked by other people to do something like this crazy. So, I mean, it was really bizarre. And it took me a few days to sort of wrap my head around it, because I'm like, that was weird. Because when you go to a place like that, like say you were going to go to, Skywalker Ranch or somewhere like that, you sort of mentally prepare for something like that, right? There was nothing. We just happened to be at Disneyland. I'm dressed in my usual Disney bounding stuff, and so is Colleen. We didn't look ready for it at all. But then another person came in, and they were like in a t-shirt and shorts with pins and buttons, and they were less dressed than we were, which was interesting. But oh my gosh, it was absolutely nuts. And of course, the thing that comes with this, the caveat that comes with this, is you have to pay whatever prices for drinks and food and that kind of thing. It was not a cheap evening, but as a once, twice in a lifetime kind of thing, it was kind of worth it. So yeah, it was a really weird situation for Disneyland for us, and we got home at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and we shut them down. We were sitting around and talking and goofing off, and everybody else had left but us, which let us like walk around and kind of take pictures and stuff, which you're not really supposed to do with people in there. So if I get permission from our kind hosts to post those pictures, if they're okay with it, I'll do it and show you guys what they are, because man, it was crazy. And it was a great way to catch up with some people we hadn't seen in a really long time. So we had a great time. That was like our big thing this week, which changed our regular just sort of we're chilling at Disneyland thing into this kind of big epic visit. Crazy activity.
What was your big thing this week? What did you do?
Me?
Yeah, what was your big thing this week?
Well, other than getting the puppy,
yeah, I guess that
that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's been a whirlwind for about a week now.
You went to Knott's though, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Knott's and also Sparrow's choir concert last night. But Knott's was on Saturday, and that was because 3 of Aubrey's relatives were down for Blythe, and we were, myself and David, Rose's husband, were basically on the spot tour guides, I guess, for Knott's.
Nice.
So we took them around and went on a bunch of rides and such. So, and how Disneyland, you have like how there's that whole nine experiences thing for a day.
Right. You try to
Yeah.
you try to tick off 9 boxes at Disneyland,
Yeah.
which means it was a successful visit.
Yeah, knots. I think we were somewhere above 14. So, yeah,
Is
and
it
there were still rides we didn't get on.
just less crowded, or
It was kind of busy, but it wasn't like really slammed busy. So I guess that played a part in it. But I mean, some rides that we went on usually have long lines, no matter how slow it is. And we were getting on I think the longest line we waited in was for like probably for Jaguar.
Wow.
And where they're like, we go Jaguar. I'm like, and it had the line was not long. It was just took long. It's like I don't think they've gotten the knack of loading and stuff with their fast pass and such
Right.
that they do.
Well,
whatever they call it.
there's a learning curve.
Yeah, so I think they'll eventually get it, but I mean, it's going to take them a while to get there.
And was Ghost Town Alive open yet? Or is
No,
that later
that
this
starts this weekend, I believe.
Oh, okay.
On the 27th. I think it starts on tomorrow
I came across an
or
ad.
Saturday. Sorry.
I came across an ad in my usual job search because
Yeah.
we do all the radio stuff out of love, but having a solid job would be nice. But I came across an ad for characters. They were looking for characters for Ghost Town Alive, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, I didn't really get to do a lot of that last time because I think my pass had expired or something, so we were just waiting. And now I have it and I can go to it, and I assume I haven't found out if Danny's working in Ghost Town Alive this year, but I assume he is. So hopefully I can see him there.
I need a job as like Stinky Pete the Prospector.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something with a big white beard. Be Gabby Hayes.
It'd be like Whittles the character Whittles that they have as a walk around character.
Real authentic frontier gibberish.
Yeah. And I think Whittles was actually based on the actual person that used to go there. That was he'd have a donkey too, and he'd go around and
Wow.
way back in when Knott's basically first opened and such.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's who he's this little walked around Mickey Mouse-ish character kind of thing, of Whittles is.
That's
They
really
have that
funny.
in one of the berries from Poison. Yeah, the bear Poison.
Poison the berry.
Berry. Yeah, from Berry Tales.
okay? Yeah, little historical tidbit: the boysenberry was created at Knott's Berry Farm.
Sorta.
It was they crossbred
It was propagated there. They got it from a farm, and the farmer's name was Boysen, so it's named after him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so but
that was the first
they
place-
were successful with it. Yeah.
The whole thing started out as just like a little roadside fruit stand,
Yes.
and got really, really, really big.
Well, and especially when they started having the fried chicken and and Cordelia's fine china.
Right.
Yeah, they added the restaurant. The park stuff came in after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show Whittles.
Yeah. See, there he is.
The
There's
mascot
Whittles.
character
Yeah.
who came back for the 100th anniversary of Knott's.
Yeah. And the behind Whittles in the picture there, that's the is it called Bessie? I think it's called Bessie.
The train.
And it's and they had it had been gone for like months, and it just got back this past weekend.
Wow.
Because they restored it.
Can I
So
just say
missing plants.
I'm really impressed with how Whittle's eyebrows are holding his hat up.
Yeah. See,
I need to cultivate
Skills.
that. My eyebrows are weird and wiry. See, I could fully play Whittles like live action. I
See?
feel confident I could pull that
Yeah.
off.
I have
You
to.
can, yeah.
If I don't trim my eyebrow,
Yeah.
it would be halfway up my forehead.
And you could actually, like I did, on the Western Day thing, but
Yeah.
during Ghost Town Alive, you can also, I go as Woody, but Ghost Town Alive, I believe I can do that too. This goes Wander There's Woody again, and the outfit I use. So
I
they
have
encourage people to dress up.
I have enough. Whittles used to be on the employee information handbook for Knott's, and he was their mascot on tickets and stuff.
Yeah,
That's really funny. I wonder if the e-ticket at Knott's was also their equally cool rides. I'm going to show you the really scary. You know how you look at those pictures of old Santa Clauses and stuff, and they look really weird?
Yeah, the like nightmare fuel stuff.
This is the old version of Whittles.
yeah, kind of creepy.
He looks a little
funny.
disturbing.
It's got a gigantic head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have little weird creatures that they've
The ones that really set me off are like the 19 early 60s walkarounds of Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
bizarre looking.
When they didn't really quite know what they were doing.
Yeah.
The characters
or have the materials or techniques to really execute it properly if they did.
right.
Exactly.
Well, but the characters had looked a little different, and
Yeah.
you could only do so much at the time, with the techniques and things. So the early Mickey and Minnie were complete nightmare fuel. It was like super scary.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
They had well, they still do. They have a little like sculptured little sculptures, fake animal creature that they have next to like the one of the barns, and it's the catawampus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little thing. It's like, I don't know. It's like the size of a toaster or something. It's not very big, but the original one was really big and super nightmare fuel.
Nice.
It was very scary looking.
All right. We should probably do some Star Wars history, huh?
I guess so. Yeah, sure.
All right. We used to have music here, but they kept shutting us down for music,
Yeah.
so now we don't have any. I need to find some
Yeah.
generic Star Warsy music to throw in there. It's
Yeah,
not going to
totally.
get us busted.
He's one of our friends out there to make one.
I keep telling Tom to make. He's like, I'm making music now. I'm like, great, make some for us.
Yeah, dang it.
Come on.
Oh man. Boop beep boop beep boop 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 boop.
All right. I mentioned already that it was Frank Oz's birthday today,
Yes.
which he was Jedi Master Yoda and
Yep.
still is. Who else we got?
Well, on May 24th, 1925, that's when Carmine Infantino was born. Comic book artist and editor at Marvel, and doing Star Wars comics, as it were.
Carmine Infantino. I actually used his art as a catalyst to draw Star Wars characters because he was doing the comic books at the time.
Yeah.
And
Was he doing the covers?
What's that?
Was he the one doing the covers?
He's the penciler.
He did do the penciling for the covers. But what was really funny is that his Star Wars stuff was like really overblown. So big, huge, muscular, blocky dudes.
Yeah.
Which was hysterical, including like the stormtroopers, which is one of the reasons why we thought that they were all robots.
Yeah. It almost looks very Kirby-ish. It looks like a lot like a Kirby artwork in a way.
Yeah.
Well, this one that's in this page anyway.
I think that's the effect of the inking.
Yeah.
The person who inked those, and I don't know, I'd have to look it up, had sort of a very dark, blocky style.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
There's a lot more straight lines in their inking than curves, and it looked very...
Yeah, it almost looks like it says Basima, but I don't think that's who it is.
I'll
So is Carmine Infantino the one that we have to blame for that ridiculous Green Rabbit Jedi?
I don't know that he created him, but he probably drew him. I have his action figure over here.
I hated that. Oh,
dude, no. Jackson, man.
What the...
He's the best.
Yeah.
What the bleep?
Don't
What
diss me,
There he
Gene.
is.
Don't diss
Star
me.
Wars?
But it was Marvel, so Marvel had a lot of creative license.
I
go
was
around.
Super dumb.
I was much more okay with Jackson than I was with Jedi Knight Don Juan Quixote.
What?
I mean, really? They were part of
Now
this.
that's really that's
That
just,
was really his name. They were part of the something seven, and Don Juan Quixote was the
Beryl
resident Jedi. It was awful. Here,
Beryl
I'll show you guys.
super dumb.
Here, this is the style of Carmine Infantino. Big, blocky, crazy. I mean, that Darth Vader looks like a cross between Doctor Doom and the Shogun Warriors.
Yeah.
It's like
It is kind of
so
it is silly
70s.
looking, but
So 70s.
When he did it, he probably had no idea that the whole concept was going to have legs. That there was ever going to be more than the one movie.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
I mean-
Just for Gene.
Yeah.
Eight against the world. Although
Yeah.
not a world really. It's like the galaxy, right?
I mean, he got to start like I think primarily with DC Comics and stuff, doing like the Flash and Batman and stuff. So and you could see it you can see that artwork didn't really change a lot from that time period.
No, I love Chewbacca. Looks like a Yeti.
Yeah.
He's like Bigfoot from the $6 Million Man.
I can see the conversation now. Carmine, are you done with the visual design for that Wookiee? And he says, not yeti. And the editor says,
Oh dear.
let's go with it.
But yeah, I mean, some of the like the early artwork that he was doing like way back when, like for the Flash and stuff, looks great. But
Yeah.
it was quite a while ago, I guess. But
I still
his
have-
style didn't change any.
I had like 7 copies of the first printing.
These are some of his spaceships. They're
Yeah.
they're what we like to call stylized.
Yeah, totally.
It always, I was like trying to learn to draw at the time, and I was studying comic books, and I thought, you can't study this stuff too closely because what they do is they draw optical illusions.
Right.
Something looks great from the one angle, but if you try and rotate it in your head and show the other side, you can't do it because the geometry doesn't work.
Gotcha.
Force
Oh,
perspective.
but David Bell is actually saying that Jackson was not created by him. It was created by Roy Thomas and Howard Chaykin,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
not by
Shaken.
And
Howard-
and
not
he
by Infantino.
and he came back. He was
Numerous times.
he was on a cover. I'm showing the cover now, where he came back, and everybody's like pushing against the door, pretending to like not let him in. I can hear you breathing. That's pretty funny. All right, who else we got? Now that we've completely savaged Carmine Infantino.
And we have May 19th, 1944. That's when Peter Mayhew was born. Chewbacca.
Yay, Peter Mayhew.
We
We love him. He was the best. He was the best. So this year for
I
Life
know.
Day, of course, we'll be celebrating Peter as usual. You may recall about a month ago, we lost his wife, Angie. And so Life Day will focus around memorializing Angie. We got her, thanks to everybody who came to Life Day and donated, we got her a copy of all of the Life Day swag. So that she had it at home, and then when she went into the hospital, she had some of it with her at the hospital.
Oh, good.
So that was really nice of everybody. And while we're talking about Life Day, it's always at Disneyland when we celebrate. It's always the 17th of November.
Yeah.
That'll be a
Whatever.
Friday this year, and I think I'm going to have to make it on the 12th because of the reservation system. But the 12th is also Dapper Day. I think it is the last day that people with lower level passes are able to get into the park on weekends.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what we're going to have to do. So it'll probably be on the 12th, but it's just under 6 months away. So I'll put the events up soon if you're kind of hanging on Life Day. Of course, we're going to do it. Oh, and Gene, I need a new disc for my radio. I lost my last one.
I've actually printed up 2 of them.
Beautiful.
Oh, there you go.
I've like one of the little tabs around the edge came out a little bit wonky, so I'm gonna reposition it on the build plate and try printing it again. I'm sure it's just.
Well, I will be out in your neck of the woods on Monday. If you need me to pick it up instead of sending it to me.
Yeah, well, I'll reprint it so that it's not on the position on the build plate that causes that little wrinkle in the edge, and I'll give you all 3 prints.
Beautiful.
So
Nice.
Having a spare would be amazing.
yeah,
All right.
I mean, they're not, the other 2 prints aren't perfect, but
Star Wars is not a perfect place.
oh,
No,
I've been meaning to tell you, Jeff. Remember when I printed that Han Solo blaster for you, the parts?
Yeah.
I now have flexible material, and I could reprint the grips for that in black rubber if you're
Oh,
interested.
wow. Cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to pop the grips off that and replace them without destroying.
Oh, yeah. I don't think so.
It might not be. So,
Yeah.
but I thought I'd offer it.
Oh, thank you.
Neat.
It's okay. I'll get back to this though, but thank you. Regular history now. May 25th, 1977, and golly, we've already been talking about that today, but that's when the old Star Wars came out in theaters. Only 32 of them. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know if that was 32 across the country. Maybe in California.
Well, no, it was originally 32 theaters that I think opened in 70 millimeter 6-track Dolby, and then they added more theaters later. And then everybody wanted Star Wars because it became so popular. And one of the problems with Star Wars when it was released is that it was released for a limited engagement, and then another movie moved into its place. And then the theater chains had to fight to get it back. And so, like The Other Side of the Mountain or whatever, Born Free, whatever it was, moved into the theater. And the theater owners are like, get it out, get it out, get it out. We want Star Wars back. And that's when it started opening in more and more and more theaters.
I remember going to, there was a theater in Westwood, and I don't remember the name of it, but they had 2 screens.
It was the Avco, I think.
Avco, the Westwood Avco Cinema. And they had 2 screens, and my friends and I went to the first day of the first screening there at the Westwood Theater in, nearly UCLA. And the other screen was another film opening the same day, and that film was a horror film, and I swear to God, it was cursed from birth. The movie was The Car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember The Car.
The same day, and I thought, oh, those poor guys. They had they have no clue what they were up against when they picked their release date.
Well, but nobody expected Star Wars to do what it was doing either. They didn't expect it to do that kind of business.
Absolutely nobody was going to see The Car.
Right.
No one.
Well, and it had James Brolin, who wasn't like a huge star in it. But that said, I know people who are fans of The Car, and I know people who have built replicas of The Car because they were such big fans of that movie. It was such a different kind of film. Kim Richards was in it, too.
Christine, pretty much.
Yeah, it was very much Christine, or Duel that Spielberg did. Kim Richards was in it, who was in Escape to Witch Mountain and Race to Witch Mountain, and which was kind of funny. It was weird to see her in that movie. I think she was trying to break her rep as like little cutesy kid reputation. She's like, I'm going to do this horror movie.
I mean, she was in Precinct 13 as well.
She was, she was. So
unfortunate scene. Hello, Vicky and Sam. I don't think we said it to you because you 2 popped in.
Hey, no worries. Hey, Sam.
Good chat.
Excellent.
Second bit of history. May 21st, 1980. And golly, what could have happened then? Empire Strikes Back is released in 127 theaters.
Woo!
Yeah.
And then
It's moving up in the world. You know,
and then
127.
1983, which doesn't seem to be on our list, was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
On
Same
this same day. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 25th of May. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the Egyptian Theater on that day.
We were both at the Egyptian Theater. We just didn't know each other because I was all of 15 years old.
I was the one with the Yoda.
Yes. Now I know, but I didn't know that then.
It was I had built a replica of Yoda. That there's a guy in San. Excuse me a moment. That's better. It was a guy in San Diego who has been on Facebook with his Yoda replica made from the original molds and all of this. And
In San Diego? I
think
wonder
so.
if
San
I
Diego
know
now.
him.
But he worked on the original Yoda.
Oh,
worked
he's
with-
not in San Diego. You're talking about Nick Malley, right?
Yeah.
Nick Malley, who worked on the movie, he worked on The Empire Strikes Back. He was part of the makeup team and also the operations team for Yoda. It's required like 6 or 8 operators. He is in the Caribbean, and he has a museum there. If you're on a cruise ship and you stop in the Caribbean, you can go in and see his museum. And he made a replica of Yoda based on work that the guy who made my replica of Yoda did. And so my replica of Yoda is like version 2. This guy's got up to version 6, and Nick Malley has this like really elaborate version of Yoda. And while we're talking about this, allow me to switch over here and show you Gene's Yoda. So this is Gene's Yoda, probably at the Egyptian.
Yeah, that's where it was taken.
Nice.
And ours had a limited control set. It took 3 people to operate them. And back in those days, there was no internet, you know. So all I had to work from was pictures from magazines.
Right.
But I had enough of them that I was able to sculpt it out, and I got every wrinkle in exactly the right place.
Nice.
So there's his sculpt in clay.
Like photo accurate. Yeah. Photo accurate. And the only mistake I made apparently was there's a mole on his
It's on his left cheek, I think.
right brow, right here. It's supposed to be on the other side, and I had been working from a flopped image and hadn't realized it.
It's pretty funny.
But me and Jeff Farley, who went on to do his makeup effects studio, Obscure Artifacts, he went on to be a makeup designer for Babylon 5 and a bunch of
Oh,
other.
okay. Nice.
And my other apprentice was Michael Moore, who went on, co-founded HMS Effects and became one of the best-known prop makers for the Star Trek franchise.
Oh, cool.
So, and
What was
both
his
of them
name?
are Michael Moore.
Oh, Michael Moore. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so Michael
was
Moore, he was part of Proper Effects and Atlantic Action Props.
Huh?
And he and we're passing friends. We've like he was really helpful for me when I was working on Star Trek figures and I was working on Sequest action figures. And so I know him through that and through other friends like Max Cervantes and people like that. He made for Master Replicas a dead-on Kermit the Frog and Fozzie and Gonzo and what they call photo puppets. And so they were designed to be posed and have pictures taken of them. But while he did that, he made a couple of puppets for himself that are actual puppets. And I have been trying to nudge him, since that company is long, long gone, nudge him into getting me some patterns to make Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo and whomever for the an animal.
For the car.
I think he did animal. For the car.
That there are patterns on the internet for that.
There are, and there are groups dedicated to it, and there's all sorts of stuff.
And there's the special. There's the Muppet Stitch. There's the Invisible Stitch.
Right, which I have documentation of, and I know people who know it, who can teach me, which is good. So,
Okay.
but
Anyway, to get back to my Yoda, mine had working hands, both hands were articulated, and the
with a mechanism or with people's hands inside them.
mechanisms.
Okay, cool.
They had pull wires in each one of them, and there was a mechanism further up the sleeve that the puppeteer could do because they were too small to fit a human hand into.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and his eyes could look left and right. His eyelids could open and close. The brow could wrinkle.
Nice.
And of course, the mouth could open. Yeah,
Sweet.
the mouth could open and close as well.
Hey, let me jump in and interrupt you for a second real quick. We're at the top of the hour.
Damn.
I want to remind you guys, I know, like, where did the time go, right? Remind you guys that you are listening to us on sci-fi.radio. It is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. That is our URL. Just go to sci-fi.radio. All sorts of instructions on how to listen to us on a wide variety of outlets. We have news stories up there just about every single day. Lots of trailers, television stuff, book reviews, things like that. So do check that out. We do have a Patreon up there if you're feeling very generous. And I always point out, science fiction fans are kind of on the poor side. If you find that you are one of the science fiction fans who are not poor, help the other ones out. Because you guys actually keep us on the air. So that side of things
And even the ones, if you are poor, if you can afford $1 a month, we'd love it. Because if like every one of our listeners pitched in $1 a month, we would be able to pay everybody. As it is, about half of the work that gets done for the station is done on a volunteer basis.
Well, and also, just to let you guys know in case you think differently, we're not a pirate radio station. We actually license our music, and we have servers and all that kind of stuff that need to be paid for. And of course, we're doing things as inexpensively as possible. We're not throwing money out there because we don't have one of those guns that shoots dollars at strippers. Although that sounds fun.
Yeah,
we don't have that. So it's like, what is it, 10,000 to license our music every year, something like that.
It's cheaper
Not that much.
It's cheaper than that. If our server was operating in the United States, it would be something like $6,000 a year to do it.
Okay.
We broadcast from Canada because the licensing is cheaper there. But still, to do our licensing and our server and pay the DJs a monthly stipend so that they can afford to buy copies of the music that they put on the air, and to pay our writers just a penny a word, it still costs us about $27,000 a year to run the station.
That's pretty sizable.
Boy.
Yeah,
that's a job. That's like a basic job at McDonald's. Like
it is.
$27,000.
And we're running the whole station on that, and it's almost impossible. If we weren't highly automated, we couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, and what's really funny is that the more automated the real radio stations, and when I say real, I mean the terrestrial ones that broadcast over FM airwaves and AM airwaves. Those stations are getting more and more and more automated and using fewer and fewer human beings in the loop.
Yes.
And we are always trying to get more human beings in the loop.
Yes, and we're trying to get away from the automated content and get more and more humans involved.
We are the anti-AI.
Yeah.
Anti-AI. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so do check it out, sci-fi.radio. That's the radio side of things. And then you could be watching us on our Twitch channel, our YouTube channel, on my personal Facebook page, on the sci-fi.radio Facebook page. I think we mirror over there.
The Docking Bay 94 Facebook page is also carrying it.
Is it? Okay. We're just sort of shooting out to a bunch of places. But anyway, if you are seeing us in any of those places, hi, and thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Now,
and just in case, I do the Patreon for $5 a month for the show. for the station.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're asking you guys to donate. I'm already doing it.
and I pay for the restream so that we could do the video,
Yeah, see?
which I think is like $10 a month. But we're grateful. So on this day in May of 2007, and I guess the 24th it started, but on this day, Star Wars Celebration was here in Los Angeles. Celebration 4. And just to let you know, that was 9 months of really hard work, working with the city of LA, working with Lucasfilm, trying to sway them over. And at the time, Star Wars Celebration was run by a gaming convention from the Midwest, which was really funny. What's the name of the convention? You probably know, Gene.
Like Gen Con or something?
I think it was Gen Con, yeah.
Might have been Gen Con.
It was Gen Con. And so the Gen Con guys came out. We gave them a tour of the convention center. We threw ourselves at the feet of Mary Franklin from Lucasfilm. And the city, who really wanted the convention, put on the dog. They took them to a Kings game. They took them on a helicopter flight around the city. Did all sorts of fancy stuff. And so when they agreed to do that, we started planning all sorts of stuff. We planned like a parade, which got canceled at the last minute because they didn't think they could keep everybody safe. It was held at the LA Convention Center downtown by the Staples Center. And we got it declared this day in 2007, declared as Star Wars Day in the city of Los Angeles. It was the 30th anniversary of the movie. And Lucasfilm said, hey, smart guy, you want it declared Star Wars Day in the city of LA. Well, you have to write the proclamation now. And I'm like, what now? And they're like, yeah, you have to write the proclamation. So I sat down and I wrote this thing that was, basically, whereas Star Wars has become a cultural touchstone, blah, 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 whatever. It went into the city council. I had to go defend it in city council. And then they made this huge plaque and they did great calligraphy and whatever. And they presented it to people on this day in 2007. And so my words ended up on this plaque, which is now in the Lucasfilm archives. And it was like bizarre. And I'm like, are you sure?
Don't Star Wars history.
Don't you guys want to write this?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it was
personally.
It was
Star
super
Wars
cool.
history.
Yeah, a little bit.
Somehow I missed him.
Yeah, gosh, so many people I know went to that convention that I did not meet.
Somehow I totally missed running into you that day.
Well,
Saturday or whatever I went.
It's like Colleen. So I went all the way to San Luis Obispo to meet Colleen, even though she lived down here. I went all the way to Orlando, Florida, to meet you, even though you lived here. It was like...
That's how I met Gregor and you and everybody else.
Really bizarre. The strangest stuff.
Yeah. Too funny.
Get myself on the monitor. I am so.
You're very blue.
Very blue.
And Matthew Tillard, he was at the Celebration 4, taking pictures, I guess, and whatever, and just going to that, at Celebration 4 the day that I was there. But I, of course, didn't meet him. But there's pictures he's taking, and in back of one of the pictures, you can actually see me in the picture. I met him way much later. I recognized the T-shirt that I was wearing and everything. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's really funny. I do wish I had a picture of our proclamation. I did save my original document that I submitted to them, but it was, oh my God. And there was so much paperwork and some of the stuff. So do you remember the guy who had the jetpack outside of the convention center? He came from the Rose Parade, which we had done on January 1st of that year. He demonstrated a jetpack for the TV cameras at the Rose Parade, ran over to say hi to George Lucas. Lucas went, hey, we should have that guy at Celebration. And so there he was. And he's the guy. They dressed him up like Boba Fett, put on his
Nice.
like Bell jetpack, and then he flew in as Boba Fett into
that's awesome.
a crowd, and that's what replaced the parade, which they didn't think they could guarantee safety for, or probably what really it came down to is it was really expensive because you got to close off Figueroa Boulevard and all that kind of
Insurance,
stuff.
yeah, insurance for a parade is, especially if it's for a commercial event, is just outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
You think a shooting permit is expensive? A parade insurance for a parade? Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah. And I see Kelly is listening as well. Kelly Kim Bryson.
Yay, Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Actually, that was the last of the Star Wars news. So
Finally.
yeah. I think we're actually on to I don't know. We can go through a couple, I guess, but it's the 40 great quotes for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, from Return of the Jedi.
Let's do it.
Oh boy, yeah. Gosh, I wonder which was the number one. Yeah. Oh, see, why is I'm guessing it's not a descending ranking. I think it's just a number.
Well,
just
number
40
one, I mean,
randomly
should
in
be
there.
May the Force be with you, right?
Oh, it's from StarWars.com. Okay,
So the first one is the Emperor is not as forgiving as I am, from Darth Vader.
Yeah,
And I
that
don't
is
think
not
that's
the most
necessarily
popular.
the most popular. I think it's just one of 40.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the one I expect to see is it's a trap. That's the one I really expect to see. And
Well, in terms of like the one people might use in daily conversation,
there it is.
It should
Yeah,
be.
on
It's
there.
a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, number 29. It's a trap.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites is number 19, fly casual. And the whole quote is fly casual.
Yeah.
Don't look like you're flying casual. Yeah. Of course, there's always
It's keep your distance. Don't look like you're trying to keep your distance.
That was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Fly
I don't know,
casual.
Fly casual.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep.
Of course, there's always luminous beings are we, not this cheap Dacron polyester.
Oh, dear.
No one should have Dacron polyester. Just nobody.
Yeah. But there's just ton of them, and strangely, like, the one that I wouldn't think of quoting was this 36. It's Lando. That was too close.
That was nobody remembers that.
I mean, I remember it, but it's not a thing that I would
Yeah.
quote.
Not a thing.
Yeah. I mean, him screaming like a little teenager.
His version of the Wilhelm.
Scarlet grabs him.
I have
Not much of a
that.
quote, I suppose, but
I have that scream
Yeah.
somewhere on my computer.
yeah,
That's really funny.
it's the Wilhelm scream that's by Billy D.
Right. Done.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
So-
a song dedicated.
yeah,
I think Sean, you've played that once.
yeah, Numerous-
This
numerous
calls
times.
for a Wilhelm scream. Yeah.
yeah.
It talks about the history of it. It talks about everything else that that it has shown up in. And I mean, if there's one sound effect that has come to have its own epic, backstory, it's that, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah,
See, a lot of these are just really dumb.
yeah, yeah.
There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Let's go back and tell Master Luke. Yeah, I quote that all the time.
Tap tap tap.
I remember that scene though. Yeah.
Yeah, when you tap, they're tapping on the door.
Right.
It's like
He's
like
my-
number 8 though.
He's my
So that's-
brother by Leia. That's number 40. I'm like,
Yeah.
seriously? Who chose these? This is terrible.
I don't know. Number 8, you're gonna die here. Convenient.
Convenient.
So
Now this
Quote,
one,
quote.
I hear people use. I am a Jedi like my father before me.
Yeah.
I love you, I know. That's great. It's
Yeah.
a trap. That makes sense.
Yeah. I do this all the time when I'm doing events. As Han, I'm all Boba Fett. Where?
And I never hear anybody say to their kid, "It is too late for me, son." Like nobody says that. Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue from the original Star Wars movie that ended up on the cutting room floor, thankfully.
Yeah.
I was listening to one clip the other day about from Mark Hamill, where Han Solo's supposed to deliver a line something like, "Next asteroid we pass, I'm dropping you and the old man off, and you can sort things out for yourself," or something like that.
All right.
And Luke is supposed to rattle off some long spiel about how they can't do that, and the raider, the people who are chasing them have sensors, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like this 30-second diatribe or whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was because it was such a complex line. But apparently Hamill had it memorized.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
he fought George Lucas tooth and nail to have it removed. Obviously, it's a good thing that
Here's the greatest offense.
Lucas finally relented.
What have you done to
The
my son?
Aqualair Solace and one of the.
Still hanging around with this loser?
Here's some
I'm
Lando
sorry.
stuff. But I don't hear his
It's
scream.
operational. Why, you slimy, double-crossing, no
Are
good
you playing with the phone?
No, not actually.
No, it's on my computer. I have like all sorts of Lando stuff on my
Yeah.
computer.
Getting worse all the time.
You know why this list fails?
Yeah.
This whole list is a fail. What is the most common line in Star Wars?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is it on that list?
I don't know.
It isn't. I cannot find it. It is.
It's in the movie, right?
I did
Who
a
says
search.
in the movie?
It's in every Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but who said it in Jedi? Was it Lando or something?
It was
Maybe
either
Lando said it.
Lando or Luke. But it's not.
It's not in this list.
It's
You're
not
right.
in this list.
And you said that, and I knew exactly which line you were talking about.
They have Yoda's last words.
Right. Oh, you mean
Yeah.
That's too funny. Oh man.
okay? I have a bad feeling about this. In the films, in Return of the Jedi, C-3PO says it.
Really?
When they
Huh.
go into Jabba's palace, it says,
Oh.
R2, I have a bad feeling about this. And then
Really?
Han Solo says it when they're about to roast Han Solo, the
Oh, okay.
Ewoks. He says, I have a really bad feeling about this.
Okay.
So there you go. Is it in this list?
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
No.
Who said it. No, of course not.
This list is a fail. Big fail. All right, what do we got for theme parks?
Oh, good golly. Theme parks. We have the first look at Steamboat Willie Splash Pad and the villas at Disneyland Hotel.
I don't even know what Splash Pad is. What?
It's like literally a place for kids to go and get wet.
It's a play area in
play
the
area
hotel.
and a pool. There's a pool
It's
next to it.
basically what used to kind of be like the beach. They used to have an actual beach at the hotel that came down into a like a pool. And so this is a place,
Yes.
and I'll put a picture up here.
Yeah.
This
There's a lot of water parks that have this kind of thing for kids to run around and get all soppy wet and not actually have to swim. It's like running through the sprinklers in a way.
Yeah.
But
So this is a very abstract kind of thing where it like sort of approximates the steamboat, and it's got a little Mickey figure, and you run through splashing water.
Yeah.
So
That looks fun.
It's
That
cute.
looks like something I'd want to do.
Yeah.
Never kids.
I'm disappointed with the Disneyland Hotel because they've gotten rid of so much cool stuff.
Yeah,
They used to be
I'm
amazing.
sure they'll change a little bit,
Yep.
but it's how it is. New info and art for the Pixar Place Hotel.
they're actually going to be building that in one of the parking lots where one of the parking lots was, aren't they?
It looks like it's just the Pacific Hotel, and it's just getting a
facelift.
redo, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, Paradise Pier Hotel is going to be reimagined, transformed into the Pixar Place Hotel.
And, it looks kind of interesting. This is the lobby area that, check in and whatnot.
I'm not sure how excited I am about that.
Yeah.
I'm not, but as a local, I guess it really doesn't matter. They're really embracing the mid-century modern look that they're doing now in downtown Disney as well. So that's getting kind of interesting. Here's a couple of more pictures of it, and the picture at the top. Whoops, hang on. Let's get back
now
here.
if they can just return the Disney store thing that they have there back to what it was, instead of just like a room with bricks.
Right.
Jeez.
So this is the entryway and check-in, and if you look at the awning in front of the building, it now has a very Mondrian look to it. If you know the artist Mondrian, or conversely, the Partridge Family bus.
Yeah. Da, ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, the offset cross grid. Where
Yeah.
With big blocks of color and whatever. And it's interesting, but again, it's embracing the very 1950s, 60s, mid-century modern look. So it'll be okay. But as locals, we don't stay in these places, so it really doesn't affect us very much.
Not, even if I were traveling, would I stay in the Pixar Place Hotel? I don't know, because it's not. I'd say the only reason to do that would be that it's close to the park, and it's not so much that the hotel itself is all that remarkable, other than it being nice and clean and well maintained and everything.
Right.
But the fact that it's Pixar,
Yeah.
probably not factor into my decision to stay there.
No, and it's obviously aimed at kids, and it'll be fine for them. It's like the Toy Story hotel in Japan, or the some of the other themed hotels over in Florida. They've got the sports hotel and the music hotel and things like that. So and unlike the Star Wars hotel, aren't $6,000 for a 2-night stay.
No,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought they were crazy when they started going after a demographic that I don't think existed. I didn't think existed, and sure enough, the demographic they were aiming for, does not exist.
Well, and what was the point that I made at the top of the hour? Science fiction fans are poor.
Pretty much.
And as much as any of us here would want to do that experience and play their LARP and do it, who had the money? We didn't have the money, or we'd have gone.
Even the people that aren't like big old huge Star Wars fans and just know Star Wars, but they want to go there because it's Star Wars for their kids.
Yeah.
They're going to go and go, well, we don't want to do all this LARPing stuff. We just want to be in a Star Wars hotel.
Right.
And
I know a lot of people who didn't know what to expect, didn't know how to get involved. If you're an introvert, this is not an experience for you.
Exactly.
If you're an extrovert, you need to be clued in as to what is happening there, so that you know how to take advantage of it. It was a little too complex. And one of the things, and you know this, Jeff, but Gene I don't think does. So Colleen and I talked to the head of marketing for the hotel at the Star Wars celebration, and she was super sweet, and we were kind of making the case that she didn't invite the right people to cover it, because they went with lots of influencers and stuff. And she's
bloggers
and her complaint was that nobody really understood what it was about. Nobody really experienced it in the way it was meant to be experienced. And then nobody reviewed it properly. They went, "It's a very nice hotel. I enjoyed the food," kind of a thing, without really getting involved in the entertainment. And we turned to her and we said, "Look, this is what we think it is." And Colleen and I explained our take on it. And she went, "Well, that's what we wanted." And I'm like, that means you invited the wrong people. You needed to invite us to come do it, because that's how we would have discussed it.
Yeah.
But it was very exasperating.
But we don't have the audience.
Right. Well, I don't think it's that we have the audience. It is that
I don't know. Whatever.
It's that we don't have the ability.
A great way to get the audience, though, wouldn't it?
Geez Louise.
We don't have the ability to quantify the audience. When they look at a page and go, "Oh, look at this person on Instagram who has 250,000 followers on Instagram." That is an easy way for them to quantify it. For them to look at radio and go, "Okay, well, they're in like 112 countries around the world, but how many people are really listening?" There's not a number they can grab onto, and that's a problem.
Well, and even if we wanted to, we couldn't tell them.
Right, and that's the thing. It's radio. You can make a guess.
You look at the radio server on the back end, and you see those same, like, I don't know, 10 to a dozen different connections that are always on, all the time.
Right.
Those are all relays. And that means that there are people are connecting to the other ends of those relays that we can't see. We have no idea what our real distribution is.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and that explains why some of them are on for like weeks.
We're reaching about 1 million listeners a year, but it includes those connections, which are essentially connection multipliers.
Yeah.
And we have no idea how big the multiplier is.
Yeah.
So we know we're reaching at least 1 million a year. It could be like an additional 250,000 a year, and we'd never know, and we have no way of getting those numbers.
Well, and the problem is we have no way of convincing them that we have those numbers, and that, because I think we reach a very different audience than the average mommy blogger, or even
That's what I mean.
the TikTokers and the people like
that.
And
very select.
And given the opportunity, we would increase more of that stuff with TikTok and other things like that if we were actually covering the stuff that we want to cover with them. So
I'm actually funny you should mention, I'm actually doing that. I am making 10 to 30 second video clips for TikTok.
I saw the one that you made for the station using our Vader intro. That was fun.
That was the best ones. And I've been making 5 of them a week.
Cool.
Publishing a new one every single day.
Right.
And that is the only change that I have made in our marketing in 3 weeks. And there is a distinct bump in the number of listeners. Our listenership is up about 24%, starting right around the time I started making those videos. So it's a ton of work making them.
Yeah.
Benefit is absolute.
Well, and so that's why because it's difficult to make them. That's why the idea for the Nerdy 30 is still in the scripting phase, and I'm not just churning these things out.
I really want to do that.
Me too, and we will, and I've got lots of elements going for it. What's that, Jeff?
The Nerdy 30.
Yeah, so this is an idea that I had where with my show in the morning with Good Morning Tatooine, I do a lot of history. We do the birthday list that you send me. We have all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to do for every day, and I can pre-record these things. They don't have to be done live. I wanted to do what I call the Nerdy 30, which is 30 seconds of the most important sci-fi things that happened on that day. Movies that came out, people having birthdays, things like that. You can go into overtime if you want, if you've got more than 30 seconds worth of stuff. But the idea is that they're just little daily bites of sci-fi goodness, and
Good.
and so
Cool.
and they can also be set up in advance to publish on their own. So it's like, you just have 365 publish alerts, and it just does one a day. And so but the problem is I got to get off my butt and do them.
Yeah.
The
And
other
I'm
thing is that it seems short, but that is a crap ton of work.
it's a lot of work, and it's got to
I would
be
recommend, rather than doing them every single day, once a week.
Yeah. Well, and the idea is that I was going to knock a whole bunch of them out, and I, I'd like to do some kind of costumey thing when I do it, a cool background when I do it, and I want to change the frames from time to time. Like if it's largely video game news, it'd be fun to have a video game kind of frame. And
Sure.
I'm working in After Effects to animate a timer, several of them that count down to 30 seconds. So that you can see what's going on, and then that has an alert if it goes over and that kind of thing. But it'd be fun to have one that's based on the Back to the Future interface. It'd be fun to have one that's Star Wars. It'd be fun to have one that's Aliens. All that kind of stuff. And so I'm working on these things. It's just taking me time.
Yeah, I think that's all brilliant.
It'll be fun.
Sweet.
Dawn is asking how we find your sci-fi.radio
find it.
TikTok. It's just under sci-fi.radio.
What is it?
Let me check. I think it might be Sci-Fi for Wi-Fi. I think that's our TikTok handle.
Okay.
I would not think to do that.
Yeah, I know. I think you can search for us under sci-fi.radio.
I don't even know where I have TikTok on my phone.
Actually,
Yeah, I
look,
don't use it at all. So
I'm trying to type it out, and I don't have my reading glasses, and it came out yik yak.
Yik yak.
Finally, we're back with
Oh,
a new
shut
season
up.
of The Kardashians.
See, that's the reason I don't go on TikTok, because I get hit with stupid Kardashian ads.
yeah.
Yeah, it's called
this?
Sci-Fi for Wi-Fi. It's all one word.
Yeah, sci-fi and the numeral 4.
Yeah, Sci-Fi for
Oh, okay.
Wi-Fi. Pretend you're Prince, and use a 4 in the name. So let's see, where were we?
Okay.
Oh, Phantasmic has been
Yeah,
on hold.
yeah.
If you remember, Phantasmic caught fire.
Oh, yes. Oh, I saw the video of that. That was horrifying.
And I'm gonna run the
if you're
video.
on TikTok, if you just search for sci-fi.radio, you'll find our channel.
There you go. So
the first hit.
this was the dragon that caught on fire. The dragon's name is Murphy because Murphy always has problems. If something can go wrong with the dragon, it will. And
And this one, it's supposed to be it's like 20 feet tall, and it's supposed to be rigged to breathe fire and flame. It's the big dramatic.
it's actually like 40 feet tall. It's
40 feet tall. It looked like Burning Man.
It did. It really did. And this isn't the only time they have had problems with
Yeah.
some of their things. The old Aladdin show that they used to do has had problems where they fly on the magic carpet and the carpet has flipped over with the actors on top of it. They're belted in, of course, but poor Jasmine. Well, there are some really scary videos up there online when that's happened, and it's a live show. You never know what's going to happen. There were 2 dragons when the dragon first opened in 1992. When Phantasmic first opened, the dragon was a head on a stick with wings that were fabric trails, and I think that's what they've gone back to just for now. Unless
it's like more implied body.
right, unless they get the dragon back online sooner. So they say that Phantasmic is actually on hold until after Labor Day. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Video. I mean that. What happened is the flamethrower in the mouth leaked fuel.
It did, yeah.
Leaked fuel, and while it was burning, and just enveloped the entire figure in basically napalm.
Now, what I was told,
40-foot George.
What I was
I don't see it.
originally by we went to a preview of Phantasmic in 1992. Mark and Brian and the KLOS radio station had a preview, and they told us, Imagineers told us, that the dragon's flame was initially non-dairy creamer, and so they would blow that out, and it would pass over the flame, and it would create a fireball. And then they would light the rivers of America on fire. And at the time we saw it, they hadn't quite gotten the mix figured out yet. So we had like 5 or 6 foot flames at the front of the rivers of America, where we all kind of had to back up a little bit because it was really.
I remember that. I remember having to do that.
Really toasty. We should have had marshmallows, which would have been pretty great. But they eventually got it sorted out, and I think they changed the fuel that they were using and that kind of thing. But yeah, this it was really interesting to watch the fire start, and then to watch like the show kind of continue as things get burned to the ground.
Never mind the dragon. Keep playing.
Right. It was very, very weird. But
it was just watching it. I was going, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I was working there when they first started opening that show way back when.
Yeah. It was impressive, but it had the ability to go horribly wrong.
It's like Daffy Duck doing that last act, where he swallows the nitroglycerin and jumps off the
right.
Or he swallows drinks the gasoline and swallows the firecracker. It's a great trick, but I can only do it once.
You can only do it once. Well, and the difficulty is like people were getting hurt. There's been a long history of revisions over that show where they've had to have better lighting on Tom Sawyer's Island, better lighting on the floats. People would like slip and fall and twist an ankle and hurt themselves, and they've made all sorts of changes, and they kind of ironed most of them out, with the exception of the big stuff like the dragon. There was no way they could have really prevented that. They check everything pretty consistently, but sometimes things leak, or sometimes the wind blows the flame back. Phantasmic and other shows very frequently get canceled due to high winds.
Yep.
And high winds are high in velocity, or they're also located high up off the ground. And so a lot of times you'll be down there and going, they canceled the show for wind. I don't feel anything. But, go up 200 feet and you've got all sorts of wind that you can't even see. So
exactly.
Disney's got to be on it. And sometimes things like this happen.
Yeah. They would basically, for the show itself, to get people onto the island, they literally they would commandeer all the Tom Sawyer rafts.
Yeah.
And just load people on them and cart them over, truckload at a time.
That's pretty funny. Do we want to talk trailers?
Sure. Where did we go here?
Secret Invasion has a trailer.
Yep. Yeah.
The new Marvel offering with Samuel L. Jackson and the usual kind of gang. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I still haven't quite figured out what the goal of all of it is. There's like lots of shooting and lots of tech, and but it's very much like a personal story for Nick Fury, which we haven't really had yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool. So I hope it's good. Sam Jackson seems to be best, in my opinion, where he's got a little bit of snark to him. This looks really serious.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, actually, because, I see what they do.
I saw the trailer myself, and it's like kind of harder to tell what the thing is really about.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of action scenes.
Yeah.
But most of it's just human against human, and you can't really tell a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, we'll get there eventually. And you know, teaser trailers are what they are. And this is Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
So if you're already
Yeah.
subscribing, it's not, you know, it's not like you have to pay extra to go see it.
Yeah.
Which is kind
Because,
of the
like,
go ahead.
I was saying in the base, I think they're going with the whole storyline that was in the comics of that the scrolls were always bad, you know, and that there was an actual scroll invasion. So a lot of characters that you thought were superheroes for like several issues turned out to be scrolls,
Yeah.
you know, in disguise. And so I don't know if that's if that's what they're doing, because I think if we've seen anything about any of the other productions they've done, they follow the comics, but then they also twist it around a little bit so that
Right.
you are caught off guard. So I'm wondering what if these are actually scrolls that are all transforming, or if there's something else.
Right. Well, and
I don't know.
The thing that we really don't know, because what they do all the time with this, people are big fans of the MCU, but they are always messing with characters' origin stories to make it fit their narrative. And so, you know, a lot of times you go in knowing stuff from the comics, and then you realize about 10, 15 minutes in, you have to throw that out.
Yeah.
Because they've gone in a different direction.
part of the reason for that is that these characters have histories that go back 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the new crops of writers come in, and they have to reinvent the characters for the modern time, whatever that modern time is.
Yeah.
And the characters have been retconned.
Yes.
Well, and they've
times.
been
four or five
rebooted.
times.
They've been rebooted a lot too, where it's just like, we're just going to
it's
start
all-
over.
Yeah, but it's also they'll make references to different timelines or different reboots.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all valid. So it's really confusing and really hard to,
Yeah.
especially if you have an older character like Captain America.
Yeah, there is a video YouTube series that I've been watching every so often, and it's a guy that covers a character or two characters at a time in the comics, called Mary Marvelite, and he just basically gives you a history of that said character, and and then references all the comics that they appeared in, and then also will go in and say, "See, now that they did sort of a retcon here, da 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 da." So he'll go through it, and that's been helpful, because like I have to go back and go, wait, what?
Let's see. Our next trailer is a Netflix series called Skull Island.
Yeah.
So
animated.
we're going.
I have not seen that.
It's kind of interesting. It's exactly what you would expect. Skull Island, of course, being the island that King Kong was taken from.
Yeah.
And it's
a quick clip of this. I see King Kong's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so very large monsters and people on an island they shouldn't be on around very large monsters. So that's kind of the deal. It looks okay. Again, it's on Netflix. If you subscribe to Netflix already, you're good. And just as a note, I don't know if we've got it in our thing over here or not for Speed Round. Netflix is cracking down on password sharing, by the way.
Yep.
So if you are sharing passwords with somebody and they can figure that out, they're going to ask you for another $8 a month.
Yeah.
So
screw that. But I don't even. We only turn on our Netflix like once a year. We're like, okay, Stranger Things or something. Okay, we're done. Okay,
yeah, we watch Netflix a lot, but we don't share it with anybody, so we're not worried about it.
No reason.
This one is kind of weird. Paramount Movies is releasing a movie called Sheroes.
Yes.
Which is like girls with guns. And it's like
pretty much,
girls in bikinis with guns. I mean, it's exactly the kind of movie you expect it to be. It's a bunch of friends who go on a sort of, Club Med Thailand adventure
and
vacation
drugs involved, and
right, and then one of them gets kidnapped, and they got to go rescue the other one, and they all have guns, and of course,
that's kind of problematic, because I happen to know the owner of a company called Sheroes.
Uh-oh.
Well,
There's going to be some interesting repercussions there.
Yeah.
well, if they haven't
Use the name.
trademarked the name, which usually the lawyers are on it in terms of double checking that,
Yeah.
they might have the right to name a movie that, even if somebody has a company named that.
I suppose.
So it'll be interesting. I don't recognize anybody in the cast list. Sasha Luss, Wallace Day,
Yeah, no
Isabel
idea.
Furman, Jack Casey, and Sky Jackson. It's exactly the kind of movie you would expect it to be. Hot chicks, big guns, lots of action. And, of course, they all have some sort of special skills that they're able to channel into their assault to rescue their friend. So
They can somehow not hurt themselves in skimpy outfits. while
right, they
shooting
can they
people.
can be in bikinis and not get shot, which is admittedly a good skill to have.
Totally.
So
So it works.
Hijack is coming to Apple TV.
Yeah.
I assume it is a movie
Idris Elba.
and not a series.
Yeah.
Idris Elba. Not only is he starring in it, he's executive producing it. George Kay created it. He did Criminal. He did Lupin.
Yeah. It's. I see this as another one of those. I have a certain set of skills, and I'm on a plane.
Right.
You know, they don't know this. Dun 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 dun. You know.
Yeah. There are no snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
On this plane. So
Yeah.
we'll
It looks entertaining, but it's you know, and I like Idris Elba, but it's like a storyline I've seen about 1,000 times.
Right.
So I don't
And
know.
with all the cutbacks and how they've been cheapening up things, you know, all the support you get, there are no snacks on the plane either.
Well, and doing a movie on a plane is a really inexpensive way to do it because it's what they call a bottle project.
Yeah.
Where it all takes place in one set,
Yeah.
which is really cheap. Usually you hear that in
Writers call
connection.
that 6 guys in a submarine.
Yeah, you usually hear that in
Yeah.
connection with TV, where like Star Trek, they just shoot it on the ship. You know, it's really easy. You know, they do something that's isn't going to cost them money to go on location.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the car earlier today, but not this particular movie, but also like about this sort of thing where it's like where Hollywood is back, of course, at it as usual, where they're just kind of recycling old tropes.
Sure.
And like there was a Schwarzenegger movie that's coming out, and it's like the same thing. Where it's,
Fubar?
you know, like, yeah,
Is it a movie or a series?
I don't know. I thought it was a movie, but it doesn't really matter. But like it was someone kidnapped so and so, and he's a hitman who has to go back into the thing, and I was like, really? I've seen this before.
It is
about 1,000 times.
Well, and it's very much like True Lies and that kind of thing. So it's a television series.
Just swap out the daughter for the wife, and
Right, and it's so Luke Brenner and his daughter Emma have lied to each other for years, neither of them knowing each other is a CIA operative.
Yeah.
Hilarity ensues.
Someone stole my daughter. Yeah.
Get to the chopper. Did you notice in the trailer for that there's a chopper line? You knew it was inevitable.
Exactly.
We talked about this movie before. They had a trailer. Funny. There's a new trailer now. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. It's from the DreamWorks people. And
I love this. I think the character design is a little goofy, a little over the top.
Yeah.
Ruby Gillman is supposed to be a normal teenager who turns into a Kraken.
Yes.
Except that her normal teenager form, she has bluish purple skin and finned ears.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she's
like
trying
all the
to.
kids do.
I don't think she's trying to hide that she's a Kraken. It's just that she is a Kraken. Because there's a girl who is a mermaid, and she is not hiding the fact that she's a mermaid.
Yeah.
Her chief adversary is a mermaid and is milking it. And so people know about Krakens, they know about mermaids, they know that this almost seems like it is set in the Onward universe.
Yeah.
Although that was Disney.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that was Pixar.
Yeah. It's like the artwork seems to be very similar to something like, Steven Universe or something, but
except in
CG
3D.
form.
Yeah. But I mean, it's it's the people who did How I Met Your or How to Train Your Dragon and all that kind of stuff, and it looks fun, but
it's kind of a retread of a trope, though.
Oh, completely. And
outsider, 14-year-old discovers that she is the chosen one and has a destiny and powers she didn't know she had.
Oh yeah, it's not unlike, say, Miss Marvel and that kind of thing,
or the Superman story,
but and of course it's got the usual teenage stuff of like, hey, the super popular chick that everybody loves is really evil, and the chick who's an outcast is really the good one. And I imagine that if you're like 12 or 14, this is probably going to be great.
The struggles that every teenager goes through. Every one of them, because they're all feeling oppressed by their social environment.
Yeah.
They all want to feel like they've got more control than they really have. And this is a sort of a coming of age wish fulfillment fantasy.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they kind of really stuck to the script on that.
Yeah.
And I maybe a little bit better of them. That said, it looks like a film I want to see.
Yeah,
it'll be
fun.
Cute. Our last one is an A24 presentation called Problemista. Tilda Swinton, Isabella Rossellini, are in it, and it's A24, so it's going to be creepy, weird, and probably scary.
Well, no, it's not really any of those. It's
really,
it's more of a comedy.
Really?
So
I didn't get that. It looked kind of really.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, but it's weird. I don't know. But
so,
it's a film and not a series, right?
I think it's just a film. Yeah,
A24. Okay.
Yeah, it's A24.
Well, I'll have to watch it again then, because I didn't really get the funny out of it. So.
It's totally, and it's like, especially near the first 30 seconds, there's some woman there that just vanishes out of nowhere, and her paper she's holding flops to the ground, and they're like, like it happens all the time.
Right. That's pretty funny. Let's see. People we lost this week. Jim Brown, Football Hall of Famer, passed away at the age of 87. Mm-hmm. He retired when he was doing really well in football. He retired to be an actor.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I'm not sure is always
Mars Attacks, baby.
What's that? Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, yeah. He was he was like the pharaoh, wasn't he? At Caesars. Yeah, it was really funny.
The casino.
Ray Stevenson passed away at the age of 58.
Yeah,
which is really too young.
He
was the Punisher in Warzone. He was in RRR, which has been getting a lot of tread lately.
Yeah.
And he was in Thor, and he's in the upcoming Ahsoka series. He's in the trailer. If you don't recognize him, he's the big white bearded dude who's a Sith Lord. He was born on this day in 1964, and he just passed away a couple days ago. But oh my gosh, really, really way too young. And I'll tell you, to see him interact with people, with his fans, he was at one of the conventions we went to, and super nice, really nice guy. He loved his fans, he loved his job, all of that, and just really too bad. And then maybe the biggie this week, Tina Turner has passed away at the age of 83. She has been living in Switzerland and just kind of keeping a quiet profile. She's had a pretty long illness, and she'd been up and down with other illnesses off and on over the few years. But of course, you know her from her extensive music career. She did the theme to GoldenEye, one of the brain melting Pierce Brosnan James Bond films. And of course,
It was the first one actually with him.
yeah, the most successful James Bond game ever to come out of that, which was interesting. And then she, excuse me, God, I'm running out of air here.
She was also in, of course, Mad Max.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, yeah,
Yep.
was
Iconic,
the other
iconic.
thing.
And she was in Tommy, Rock Opera Tommy, the movie for that.
She was with her very scary heroin needles everywhere. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But everybody has been coming out of the woodwork to talk about how Tina Turner influenced them, Mick Jagger and Beyonce and people like that, because she was a survivor. I mean, she had a bad relationship with her husband, Ike. They had a great music career and a terrible relationship. She got out of that. She had some musical therapy where she had a bunch of songs for a while talking about, how awful that was. And then she got back to
Swift.
doing music.
Taylor Swift talks about all her bad relationships in her songs.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, musical therapy. But anyway, really sad to hear of her passing this week. I guess we're just about done here. We didn't really get to any of the
The extra speed roundy stuff.
speed round stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
the one thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that the Electric Mayhem has their album is #1 on the Billboard charts.
Yes,
That's great.
I saw that.
So they finally cut an album, and they're #1 on the chart.
And
I
it's
mean, geez, took it forever.
it's to qualify it. It's #1 on the children's albums list.
Oh well,
Oh, man.
All
give
Billboard.
them time. We'll see
It's
if
#1. It does have a #1 slot on Billboard, just not the number
not
one.
not the Hot
Still,
100
it's
or
very cool
Yeah.
that they made it to the top of the Billboard list on.
You know what? I'll take it. I will
Yeah.
take it. It's whatever the Muppets want to do. I'm there.
Yeah, that
for.
was I caught up on it this past week, and boy, that was
They hit all the right notes. They really, really
yeah.
did.
I mean, I should have had like tissue every time I watched that same thing.
I
It was
I
just, like,
sent Adam
every time.
Goldberg a note. I don't know if I have his correct email address anymore, if he had to change it, but I sent him a note telling him I thought it was amazing and that he now needs to make Pigs in Space.
Yeah.
Because he's asking. He's like, okay, what do I tackle next? I'm like, Pigs in Space, baby. Let's do it.
Something at least, man.
Right? Let's see what kind of time we got here. About 3 minutes. What are you doing this weekend, Jeff?
Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know. I'm hopefully I'll maybe get the Knots or something because on like Sunday or something to see the Ghost Town Life stuff kick in, and they're supposed to be opening up Fiesta Village.
Cool.
We'll see we'll see. It looks like they had a lot done when we were there this past weekend, and it's a possibility. I don't know how much they were moving fast on it to get the rest of it done, but maybe. So
Sweet. And
Yeah.
and Gene.
and if I count the cars.
Event Horizon. Who's on Event Horizon this week?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, you're on the spot.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm in a tight spot.
I don't remember.
Oh dear.
We do have a new one. I just don't
Okay.
remember what it
Okay.
is.
And well, regardless, it's 4:00 on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you can tune into sci-fi.radio at 4 p.m. Saturday or Sunday and hear the Event Horizon, which is Gene and Susan, and usually a pretty amazing guest. But we've forgotten who that is.
Oh, Gail. Her name is Gail Carringer, and we're interviewing her on her new book, Divinity 36.
Hey, there you
Okay.
go.
Nice.
Sweet. So you can tune in for that. And then as for me, I'm going to do that parade on Monday.
Yay.
I think I'm going to Disneyland on Sunday with a bunch of Road Squadron people. Which, because Star is who's coming down here from Fresno, is going to do that. I've been invited to Disneyland the day before for our friend Judy, who's doing a teen trip with her students. So I might do that and go be tour guide at Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, if you've been listening to Sci-Fi.radio, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do check out the actual web URL that is sci-fi.radio. A lot of great people writing terrific stories out there for you. No AI. It's nerds writing for nerds. Go check it out. And if you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or whatever, if there is some way to like or subscribe or do whatever, do that. That's how we know that you guys came by. And everybody who's been hanging out, Lara and Dawn and Beth and people like that, we appreciate your time and hanging out with us.
Thanks,
and then
Liz.
to Kit, who does our document that we've been reading all of our stuff off of, keeps the show running, does our links and things, and keeps the Docking Bay 94 Facebook page humming along. If you laugh at anything over on the Docking Bay 94 Facebook page, that's her. So check that out. Say hi. Like the page if you haven't, because she posts all sorts of funny up there all the time. And then beyond that, I think that's just about everything. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw up the credits screen here. Our theme is written by Chris Cosmomoose Medway, who just came out with a new album. You can go to cosmomoose.bandcamp.com and check that out on his behalf. Colleen, we missed you. We love you. Have a great vacation. We'll see you next week. And then to you guys over on the radio, we return you to your regularly scheduled automatic DJ. See you next week. Or tune in tomorrow to listen to me at 9 a.m. Pacific time or 12 p.m. Eastern time for Good Morning Tatooine, and we will wrap out the week in style. See you, radio people. Bye-bye.
Good night.
And then to you guys over at the TV side of things, for the video, we will see all you guys next week. May the Force be with you.
Bye.
Good night, folks.